Hello. Today I will help introduce you to Scratch, the block coding website, and we will create a small little game called Apple Appetite. So, first of all, you gotta learn the basics of Scratch. On the left side here is a panel where you can select the blocks you want to drag out to code. Here is Move 10 Steps block. You can move it out onto your canvas, and then you can basically press the block, and then it'll make your character move 10 steps. Now, where is your character stored? Your character is stored down here in the sprites area. You can edit the sprite's name, so I can name it cat. You can edit its location using the X and Y sliders. You can make it 0. You can make that 0. You can change its size to make it larger, like 200, or make it smaller, like 50. But we'll just leave it at 100 for now. You can also change its direction by spinning this thing around. Next, we will move on to look at the backdrop. Now the backdrop is just like Sprite, except you can't move it around, and it's always in the back no matter what. So there are multiple tabs when it comes to sprites and backdrops. First of all, there's the code tab, which we're on right now. Then there's the costumes tab, in which you can edit the actual artwork of your character. And then there's the sounds tab, where you can use, create, and search for sounds. For example, this one is meow. Alright, now that we got those basics down, we'll start by learning all the different types of blocks. The first important block we have here is going to be the move 10 steps block. Now you can change this parameter to be any number, so to make your cat move a farther distance or a smaller distance. For example, if I want it to move 1 pixel, then I just make it 1 step and then I can click it and you can see the cat moving ever so slightly. Or I can make it move 100 steps. It'll move halfway across the screen. You can see that on this area over here. Now I'm going to drag the cat back, and we're just going to reset this back to 10, okay? So, another block we need to know are the event blocks. Right here in this tab, you're going to drag out a when flag clicked block. Now what this block does is it activates whatever code is beneath it when you click the flag. So for example, if I attach the move 10 steps block onto the when flag click block, when I click the flag over here, the cat is going to move 10 steps every single time I click it. So I'm going to click it once, it moves 10 steps, click it again, and it keeps moving. Next up, we're going to learn about the if block. So if I put this in here, and I drag it out, it basically checks if something happens, then it'll move 10 steps. So what we're going to do here is we are going to drag out a forever loop. This means once I put it under the when flag clicked, it will repeat the action within this loop, within this nested area, forever. So if I click the green flag, boom, the cat keeps on walking, and it gets stuck on the edge there. So let me drag it out. Just keeps on walking 10 steps each tick. Now within this forever loop, we can do an if and then block. So that means it has to check for something, and if that something is true, then it moves 10 steps. So we can go to sensing, and then we can drag out a touching block. Okay? So for this, if I touch the cat, it's going to move 10 steps every single time I touch it. So it's going to run away from the mouse. But there's also another one over here. That's the key space pressed. If I start the flag again, click the flag again, and I move this back here, every time I click the space, it's going to move 10 steps. So now I have control over the cat. Now, we want to make this like a game where you can move your cat around, right? So what you want to do is you want to change the space button to make it the right arrow button, because you want your cat to move right when you press the right arrow. As you can see, it works really well. So every time we want to click the flag, we want the game to reset. So we're going to go into motion, and then we're going to add a go-to block. Now this is a coordinate system, so you're going to make the cat go to 0, 0, which is the center of the grid. Now we can, every time we click the green flag, we can click the right arrow button, and then it'll move to the right, ever so slightly. Clicking the flag will reset the cat back to the center. Next, we can do the same thing for all the other directions. So we're going to drag out an if, and then we're going to drag out a key left arrow pressed. And then we're going to drag out a move negative 10 steps. This is because negative means opposite, and the opposite of going to the right side is going to the left side. So if we click the flag, we're going to go to the left side when we click that, and the right side when we do that. Now we want to make the cat go up and down. So how do we do that? Once again, we're going to go back to the control blocks, and then we're going to drag out the if-then block. Now we're going to go to sensing, and then we're going to sense for a key up arrow being pressed, and then we'll drag out another one, and then we're going to make it down arrow. So we're going to do both up and down at the same time now. So for this, you'll need to move the cat up and down. And if you can look over here, you will see that the y-axis is the one that controls the direction up and down. So we're going to go to motion, and then we're going to drag out a change y by 10 block when we press the up arrow, and a change y by negative 10 block. Because changing y by negative 10 means doing the opposite of moving up by 10. And the opposite of moving up by 10 is moving down by 10. Now let's click the green flag again. Let's try it out. Look at that. We can move in all directions, and it looks pretty nice. Now we have our cat moving. We want to add a bit more life, I'd say. So, here's the thing. I want to add a direction, but this moving 10-step block is hindering me from doing that. I'm going to replace this with a change x by 10, and replace this by a change x by negative 10. It has the same effect, but I'm just specifying that it's the x-axis, which controls the left and right direction. As you can see, the code still works. Now, we will move on and make it so that the cat can change a direction, so it can look towards the left when it's going left, and look towards the right when it's going right. So at the very beginning, I'm going to make it pointing direction 90, which is where it's pointing right now. Now we want to make it point the opposite direction, which is negative 90, when a left arrow is pressed. And again, we want to make sure the cat is pointing in the right direction when the right arrow is pressed. You can see that the cat is turning direction, but it's flipped upside down. That's a problem. So to mitigate that, we will need to set rotation style at the very beginning to left-right. Now click the flag again. As you can see, the cat is moving perfectly well. You can move it up and down, and our game is coming to life. Next, we will have to add the apples that the cat will eat. So you have to go to here, which is choose a sprite. You can draw your own apple by clicking this button, the paint button, or you can choose a sprite that's already been created. So I'm actually going to choose a sprite that's already been created. So click this button, and then I'm going to search for apple, which is right here, and I'm going to click it. So now we have an apple here. Now look at how massive that apple is. I kind of want an apple to be like more realistic, you know, a bit smaller. So we're going to make the size 50 over here. Now, over here, we're going to have an event when the flag clicked. Green flag is clicked. Because remember, the green flag is when our game starts. We want the same apple to be eaten many, many times forever. So, we're going to go to motion and drag out a go to random position. As you can see, when we click the flag, every single time the apple will go to a random position on the screen. Now we're going to make it so that when the apple touches the cat, we increase a score counter by 1, and also make the apple move to somewhere else so that it can act as like a new apple that the cat can go chase again. So first of all, we're going to go to sensing, and then we're going to add a touching block. Now this is touching mouse pointer, but we want to change it to touching the cat. So if we're touching the cat, then what do we need to do? First of all, we need to create a new variable. We're going to call that variable score. And we're going to keep it for all sprites. Click OK. Now what is a variable? A variable is basically this item that can store a number or like any words. Just it stores something and it keeps it there, and you can change it. You can change what's in there, and then you can access it. So first of all, at the very beginning, we're going to set the score to 0. So we're going to set that number to 0. And then, if we're touching the cat, then we're going to change the score by 1. So we're going to increase the score by 1 every single time the cat touches it. But, if you look right now, once my cat touches it, the score just goes up really, really quickly. What we want to do is we want to move the apple away once it touches the cat. So we're going to drag out another go to random position block right after this. Now if we reset the game, when we collect an apple, it's going to increase our score by 1, and then the apple's going to move to somewhere else random. Really, really nice. So now we basically have the entire game working. But let's add on some decorations and some just stuff to make the game look better and feel better and more fun and more enjoyable to play. To make the game more fun, we're going to add a little sound every time the cat eats an apple. So we're going to go to Apple, then we're going to select Sounds, and then you can see there's already a sound here that's chomp. Let's take a look. Let's listen to it real quick. Nice. So we're going to go back to the code, and then every time it touches the cat, we're going to start the sound. In the Sound tab, we're going to start the sound chomp. So now when we click the flag, and then we move to one of the apples, it'll make a chomping sound. So now it feels like the cat is actually eating it, instead of just making it disappear. So now you have this fun game called Apple Appetite. Don't forget to save the project by clicking the Save Now button on the top bar. Thank you for watching my video, and I hope to see you sometime soon.